When I first made the announcement that we were going to sell our homestead, sell off our farm, all the acreage, and move back to New Hampshire and live in this remote cabin full-time, right through the winter, people all commented in the same manner when they heard that announcement. First off, they would say, "You're not spring chickens, you know." I guess you got to be a spring chicken if you want to go and live a life of adventure. So no, we're not spring chickens. And then they would ask, what are you going to do if you got hurt or sick in the winter? I mean, we live on a Class 6 unmaintained road, but you can drive to the cabin about 6 months or so of the year. Depends on how the weather is. But in the wintertime, it's a snowmobile trail. And our only access to our cabin, as most of you know, is an ATV with tracks or a snowmobile.
When you're living off the grid, there's certain safety precautions you learn to take. Like buying wine, for instance. You buy it in a box, so when it goes flying off the sled at 30 miles an hour, it doesn't turn your evening happy hour into a hazardous situation.
In the winter, if you need immediate assistance, like you got cut really bad or something similar where you need to be rushed to the hospital, you're not going to get immediate assistance up here. And if you're bleeding out, chances are you're not going to make it. But nonetheless, we wanted to come up and spend a winter, so we spent the first winter and then the second and third, fourth and fifth, and this is our 6th winter up here. And if you want to know what we're going to do if one of us got hurt, badly hurt in the winter, well, let me tell you. Well, my friends, a little more than a week ago, pretty much everything about our life up here, our building project and this steady forward progression that we're always in, all came to a screeching halt. We were over at the building project, and I was doing some electrical on the dormer, and if I had known what Lori was doing, she wouldn't have been doing it, but she's a little go-getter. A lot of times pushing things beyond the limit. But anyway, she was on a step ladder at the landing at the top of the stairs. Telling you that, you can pretty much summarize where this is going to go. So she's up there on a step ladder at the top of the stairs and lost her balance or whatever happened. The step ladder tipped over. Down the stair hole she fell. Tumbled down 12 stairs, crashed into the floor below, and bounced right around the corner. When I heard the crash, I immediately yelled out, "Are you all right?" And I hear this little voice go, "No." I get up and I run out, and I don't even see her when I look down the stair hole. Down I go, and I find her down there in a heap. I don't want to move her. We're assessing the situation. She could move her neck and move, and under the circumstances, she seemed all right. No better than that, though. She says, "I broke my wrist." She knew she broke her wrist. So I rushed her to the hospital as quickly and painlessly as possible. And they did a whole bunch of scans, got her in there, checking her for internal injuries and everything, because that was quite a distance, all right, for any age. And Lori turns 62 in a few months, all right? So off of a step ladder, down the stair hole, bumpity bumpity bump bump bump, all right? So they're checking her for everything. She had a closed head injury. She wasn't bleeding, so they call it a closed head injury. Pretty rattled her brains, all right? Hurt her neck, big bruise on her shoulder, hurt her ribs, big bruise on her hip. One finger we thought was broken. It was big hematoma, but it wasn't broken. Shattered her wrist like a china teacup, several pieces, and hurt her foot. But miraculously, folks, no broken bones except for her wrist, which was trashed. So, you know, we thought she broke a rib at least, but no, man. The broken wrist, and that was the only serious injury, thankfully. So, a few days later, she went into surgery. They put her back together with titanium plates and pins and all that jazz. And then, you know, I'm not thrilled with Dartmouth because the second you wake up from surgery, they want to boot you out. And Lori has a real hard time with anesthesia, and it makes her really sick. And she was really sick and weak when she woke up from the surgery, and they're already discharging her. So this was on Friday last week, and a big storm was setting in that evening. So we weren't really sure what to do, kind of a nervous wreck. They discharge her. We go across the street to the pharmacy. I'm waiting in line at a drive-through pharmacy, and she's already throwing up. She's horribly sick, horribly weak, throwing up in the car. We get her prescription in case she needed it. It was painkillers, but she hasn't taken any of them. And then down the highway, we're going down the highway. I'm trying to keep a freaking Jeep on the road and holding a puke bag for her. So we get back to where we normally park our Jeep, and we're going to get her into the Polaris Ranger on tracks and come back up the mountain. And we had an offer from our close friends that she could stay there while she recovers. And I asked Lori, I go, what do you want to do? You want to go to Mark and Cindy's? What do you want to do? I'll do whatever you want. And she goes, no, I just want to go home. So picture this, right? Here it is. For one thing, our house is almost 2 miles from where we park. A lot of snow up here. If we need help up here, we're not going to get it for quite some time. There's no instant in and out. There's no ambulance or anything coming up here. And I asked her, and she just wants to come home. So we get her out of the Jeep, into the Polaris Ranger, bundle up with blankets and stuff, and that we creep our way back up the mountain. And I get her indoors, and I get her settled in, and then the snow started, and we got hammered with high winds. The snow was coming sideways. We're way up here, snowed in. We got about 14 inches up here, and trying to take care of her. She's in a lot of pain. She's still horribly sick. She was sick for 3 days, and then she started spiking a fever. I was a nervous wreck, but she didn't want to get off the mountain. I took care of her, nursed her back to health, and luckily everything is getting back to normal. So when people ask how we handle situations like this, we handle it the same way that we handle any other form of setback. Life is full of setbacks. They come at you every single day of the year. Every single day there's something trying to throw disappointment or discouragement at you. Something's not coming out the way you want. It's not happening fast enough. We all deal with the same kind of emotions every single day. And if you let them bring you down, you will stay down. Living up here like we do, Lori and I have to be as a team. We work as a team, and you have witnessed that. But we have to be on the same page with everything. And the thing that we're on the same page with is we both want to be happy. So the only way to stay happy when everything, all this unhappy stuff is being thrown at you, is to be able to fight it off. And what we fight it off with, the number one tool for that purpose, is gratitude. By changing your mindset. People comment all the time about our positive mindset. Okay? We use gratitude to combat everything that is trying to bring us down. And I say that because every single situation could be worse. It could always be worse. This situation that this accident has put us through totally sucks on so many levels. It has complicated everything, not to mention all the pain and all the issues, but it has paralyzed our life at the moment. Our building project, everything is just stopped. I don't get to go out and do my other things because right now I've been taking care of her. But that is just the way it is. Instead of going, woe is me, and all that stuff, that this, with their legitimate emotions that we are feeling, but we push them away by saying, look at what could have happened. All right? She hurt her ribs, but she didn't break her ribs. She shattered her wrist, but she didn't shatter both of them. All right? I'd have to wipe her arse. All right? Think of all the extra work that I'm doing because she has one hand. If she had no hands, my God, things could have been so bad. She could have broken her legs, she could have broken her hip, broken her back, she could have got killed. So when we're starting to feel down about all the things that this has caused, this has brought to our life, we push it all away by being so grateful that those things didn't happen. A few years ago, you saw where I had to go for cancer. I was suffering with cancer. I had cancer surgery. I took a chance with the surgery. Luckily with that, I could push it off till the summertime and have the surgery in the summer to make things easier, to make it easier for Lori to care for me. But she nursed me back to health and took care of me up here. And as much as that cancer and all the worry and all the crap that we dealt with that, I was so grateful that we had the means to get rid of the cancer. All right? And I have been cancer-free now for the last few years. So like I always say, folks, stay positive. There's always something to be positive for, regardless of all the crap that is being thrown at you. You change your mindset, you change your world. It's a very simple tool, a little technique that everybody can use because we want to be happy. So when things are bringing you down, find something to think about that makes you happy. It's what we do, it's what you see us do, and we do it because it works. So Lori is on the mend, and we will get back to the project and be bulling and jamming as a team when we start building our new cabin. So anyway, folks, thanks for sticking with us. All the best to you, and God bless.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go, there's a porky way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss.